Hello, I'm Brad Barnett with the Kerrville Area Chamber of Commerce, and welcome to an edition of Coffee Talk. Today, I am here with C.S. Freeland. She is the co-founder of the Texas Venture Alliance. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. Fun to be with y'all.
I know we've got an event we're going to talk about coming up that partnering with the KerrEDC. But before we do that, tell me a little bit about the Texas Venture Alliance, what you guys do, and how you got started.
Yeah, well, I've been in Austin, Texas for about 15 years almost. Spent the majority of last decade at a technology venture studio, so helping to launch early stage tech companies with a small group of people. Noticed that there were so many new startup investors that came into town. We maybe had 10 venture capital firms, and now that number is more like 60 or 70 ever since the opening up after pandemic. And I did an Austin local investors club, ran that for about a year and a half, and noticed that there was a really great opportunity to offer memberships and go do a statewide venture capital association, which is the Texas Venture Alliance. So just being all over the state, great to be with y'all, and have been all over to Brownsville and Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth. Everywhere really is getting a lot, very, very interesting, and I think we'll see those numbers continue to grow. But doing a lot of events and just collaborating with existing organizations to help develop this ecosystem of startup support.
Okay, so you're basically, one of your main roles then is connecting people that if I've got a business and I want to do a startup, then I can come to your organization and you can kind of tell me, is it a good fit, and then what some potential investors may be.
Yeah, we've got a website and we try to highlight each region, so be a little bit hyper local with our partners. We work with chambers and EDCs, but yeah, we have a twice a month newsletter that we have an email, and we have one on LinkedIn. So just make it easy for startups to see who all's here, who's investing in what, who's hosting events, and just kind of offering other organizations who work with startups a chance to co-create events and other resources like that.
Okay, because I've noticed you guys do a lot of posting on LinkedIn, so that's, I think, kind of a good way to follow you guys on social media.
Yeah, we have an Instagram page as well for Texas Venture Alliance and our upcoming event, the Texas Venture Crawl. So those are the Instagram handles. But yeah, we're very active on LinkedIn as well. And it's a good opportunity to follow us and see what all is going on, and we've got new things all the time, so hopefully that's helpful to an early stage company. And it's a new organization too, so if there's any ideas of how we could be a resource, definitely email us. We've got a contact page, and it's a really good time in Texas now, I would say.
Well, you mentioned kind of a transition with the Texas Venture Crawl that's coming up October 6th.
Mm-hmm.
So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it is a statewide and simultaneous networking event for startups and investors, and really this ecosystem of startup support. So we've got at least 12 different venues all across the state. And it really started because in Austin last year, we did a venture crawl there, and we had 5 different venues. It ended up being around 1,300 people. And that was a surprise to all of us, I think, that it became so big, especially last minute. It kind of went viral. So we bought some shuttles and got people around downtown Austin a lot faster. And it was a really great mix of office and venue spaces. We had some VCs, the office downtown, so they opened up their space and just had some beer and wine and some food and just sort of like an open house. And some VCs ended up buying out the bars, ordered food in, and yeah, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Now in this statewide capacity, we have a venture crawl here in Kerrville. We've got, El Paso, Brownsville, Houston, San Antonio, Austin again. We've got several venues and one big one in Dallas for the DFW Metroplex region. So yeah, it's been really exciting and the first statewide and simultaneous event. And I would say that will probably be around 3,000 people.
Oh.
So yeah, and hopefully, people can see this as a great chance to maybe if an investor isn't going to cut a check right then and there, it's an opportunity to talk to VCs and maybe they can offer, some advice or if there's any connections or any direction along that way. So it'll be a lot of fun too. We have a couple surprises and I think that it'll be it's definitely unprecedented. So hopefully we can grow into something else next year too. But as a first one, it's been really great to work with everyone and the chamber and the EDC here in Kerrville.
And the format of this, I think if some people may look at it and assume it's closed circuit, distance type thing, but each one is local with local speakers and presentations, correct?
Yeah. I felt that it was really important that to have a hyper local presence, and working with our partners on that is a really big deal. But each even individual in each organization that is hosting a Texas Venture Crawl, not only are they really setting up the space to have the community convene on their turf, but it's also a way to connect the local scene into the larger statewide network. And so that's why you see even in Austin, we don't have like an Austin Venture Crawl anymore. It's the Texas Venture Crawl in Austin. El Paso's got a Texas Venture Crawl. So we're really all Texas and unified under the Texas brand, while also, of course, working with our local partners.
Which I think is really good because each area of the state obviously has different demands. I mean, the demands for the business and the capital in Kerrville is obviously different than Austin, and I'm sure different than Dallas. So I think that's a great idea to be able to kind of customize what you're doing.
Yeah. It's great for the region. Every region has their own opportunities and challenges, and even that is a good way to be a resource to the local community. Mm-hmm.
When you're connecting people, do you all work with these startups to kind of let them know, okay, here's what you need to have if you're going to go pitch to a venture capitalist?
Yeah, I think that's one of the topics. I see that happening here in Kerrville, and I saw some of the panel topics, I think it was in El Paso, of how to be investor ready even. There's many different stages of a company, and if it's a startup, it's a variety of needs and really a very shape-shifting landscape too. To be in this industry and startups and venture capital, while it could be a little bit like a romantic type of, visionary new concept, entrepreneurs are solving problems in a unique way. That creates a whole new set of standards when you're building a business that way versus, a regular business that might be doing well already, and just taking that to the next level is just very different than a startup. So the conversations in each region are going to be very different, but even by the startup, it could be very different. So yeah, just offering a lot of education and resources, chance to meet other founders as well who are going through their founder journey.
So do you all just connect on startups, or do you help businesses when they're doing like expansion?
Yeah, we have partners that work with really every stage of the company. So, our website has a lot of resources. We try to be expansive in the type of content we have in the newsletter. and we try to feature venture capitalists and angel investors, angel networks. So really every stage and kind of variety of business, because we're seeing trends in clean energy, green tech, especially out in Houston. I think that Dallas likes to be seen as kind of CPG or fintech type of young companies. We've got, I think, at Kerrville, was really interesting for aviation, aerospace, and maybe similar in Brownsville, especially with SpaceX down there. So we try to be, an expansive resource online and through newsletter and through our partners with each location.
And we're really kind of lucky because Gil, with our KerrEDC, I think, was involved when SpaceX was recruited, and so he had some of those connections with the aerospace, which has really, I think, it's been a boon for us to have somebody like Gil and Katie on the EDC side, to work on that, because Kerrville is a beautiful place to live. It's just,
definitely.
I think our biggest challenge, like most of the state, is trying to get enough housing to accommodate the workforce we need. So
it's a nice problem to have, just to need to build quickly, and even just responding to the needs of the community.
Anything else we really haven't touched on as far as the venture crawl, or just the alliance as a whole? Suggestions you would have to people that might be interested in reaching out to you guys? And we'll put your all's information up on the screen.
Yeah, I think that it's been really incredible working with chambers and EDCs on this. They, are a key and important focal point to the business community. And as we start to see startups become more of a thing, and we see more entrepreneurs, I would say that even though our industry right now is kind of taking a hit, I think maybe the numbers are, our industry got cut in half. I think that leaning on the business community, entrepreneurship can be kind of a lonely experience as well, but it doesn't have to be. And I would say this, even in tumultuous times, some of the best companies come out of these moments. So, and now with a very distributed way of working and living, if you're lucky to be living and working wherever, and you can pick a great spot, then that's definitely the time to have the hyper local approach and the community come together.
And do y'all provide any support? Obviously, the financial support's a big thing, but just kind of almost a mentorship type program for startups?
Yeah, I've gotten some feedback that could be new type of programming that we offer. A lot of people, want to be helpful to entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs always need some help. So, I think that, to subscribe to our newsletter, come to, any of the Venture Crawl events. We're open to any and all feedback, and that would definitely be something I would love to do. We've already had several mentors come to us and want to do programming. So we're a new organization ourselves, so wanted to get the Texas Venture Crawls out of the way, and then with a new statewide community, I think that there's something interesting that we could do with new programming that way.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, and we just encourage people, if you're viewing this obviously before October 6th, join us at the Trailhead Beer Garden at Schreiner University. And if you have other questions, again, the information is up on the screen, or you can reach out to Katie at the KerrEDC, or reach out to me at the chamber, and we can get you connected. And hopefully, if you've got a startup idea or needing to grow your business, because at the chamber we're here to support that and hopefully help your business grow. So we'll see you next time.